Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. I've just set up my altar for Lammas. I've got to attempt to cover everything that's on it pretty much. As you can see, the driftwood has been slightly moved off the altar now because there simply wasn't room for it. The back, the symbol of charity is still there. There's a nice Maori picture behind there. Seemed appropriate. There's my hawk. This feather I found recently, and it seems to be a message to me to go on with certain things that I've been working on. The little corn dolly things, that one, this one around Venus of Willendorf's neck, and that one there are all from charity shops. I have no skill to make those myself. I wish I did, but I don't. This wheat I grew and harvested myself last year. This year's isn't ready yet. That was a birthday present from my sister, this little eagle. Seemed appropriate for this time of year. Now this, in many ways, this whole altar represents farming and the benefits thereof. This piece of flint represents one of our earliest steps away from just being basic animal type creatures. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with animals, but this is our step on the road to civilization, which is a word I don't like much because it implies cities and I'm personally against them. The flint was with us when we took the steps we were meant to take. The keys represent responsibility, stewardship, all that kind of thing, possibilities. As always, this represents women's work, and in particular their work in textiles and spinning the wool into usable thread and things. The animal contribution is represented by the cow's horn, which also represents plenty, as you can see from the coins and the Bronze Age the Iron Age money ring. Sorry, it's bronze and it always mixes me up. Yes, it's an Iron Age bronze money ring that used to be a form of currency before coins were in widespread use. As you can see, I've adorned the cow's horn just to celebrate it a bit with two armlets covered in leaves. Just keep slipping under. I'm doing my best. The cow horn I got very recently in a charity shop. It represents our herding of various animals, cows in particular, their gift to us, which we unfortunately repay usually by killing them because we claim they have some kind of illness that they don't. I'm a bit cross at the moment. DEFRA has decided that a load of meat is infected and therefore unfit for human consumption, and then they're selling it on the quiet, which implies to me that it was never unfit for human consumption in the first place, and that probably they're just running one huge scam. But in general, our relationship with cows has been good for us and not so good for cows. We need to improve that by making sure that they're all fed and reared organically and treated well. Back there we got my new skull. It represents the ancestors and their contribution. As I've said before, I don't feel a real skull is appropriate because that would require the request of the now I've lost use of the English language. Blame the heat, it's been getting to me all week. It's starting to build again now after a cool morning. Yeah, it would require the consent for me to have somebody's real skull on my altar, even if I liked the idea of having somebody's real skull on my altar. But a replica is a good plan. Replica, I mean, this is a very good replica, and it means that the ancestors are honoured without being used as ornaments, which I'm not sure they'd like. The lovely carved goblet is there. as usual, representing both plenty and merrymaking. Green man and his lady friend, very much awake at this time of year. The dragon representing the sun and fire and action and all those things that I'm really uncomfortable with. Which is probably why I've pointed him directly at the Venus of Willendorf, who represents everything I am comfortable with. In a fight, I reckon my money's on the Venus. Down there, Lee, with the Punamu that she gave me. Beautiful, that. Both representing friendship. The chimes are there. They just look really nice on the gold cloth. Down here, hidden a little bit behind the grass, behind the barley thing, is a green man and the Sheila and the Gig. Oh, that's not focusing very well, is it? Never mind, you know what they look like. And as you can see, the Venus of Willendorf has a nice bangle at her feet, and this little arrangement around her neck. Usually I don't bother dressing her up, but on this occasion I thought I would. She of course represents both the earth as mother and womanhood in general, and particularly the kind of womanhood that doesn't care what people think. This is not a woman who's trying to win any beauty contests. This is a woman who just glories in her own fruitfulness, and that's how it should be. Incidentally, behind the green man and the Sheila and the Gig, I have a piece of slate which I was given by a place that I love well, and I passed this slate several times before realising that it was actually practically being thrown in my face. And it represents basically the earth, both the element and the planet. I think that covers everything. I think it does look rather good at the moment. I mean, I wish I could elevate the skull slightly without risking toppling, but if anything knocked into that dragon it would probably break. It's already lost a tooth, as you can see, before I bought it, so I don't want any harm coming to it. But that's my altar. Towards the day itself it may acquire a bit more in the way of wheat and stuff if that matures in time, and on the day itself there'll probably be a little bowl about there with some bread in it, because I always make bread at Lammas. So that's everything. I apologise for my appalling appearance. It's been a very, very miserable summer for me, and I am not at all well. Okay, blessings to you all, thank you for listening, and goodbye for now.